Hi guys, John, the firearms instructor, and welcome back to our channel. Today's video is a unique one. We're going to be talking about the 10 reasons why gun ownership is up. And if you don't know gun ownership is up, I just ask friends and family in your area and find out how many of them physically have pistols or just bought a pistol, and you'll probably see that a lot of them have. Or it's on their bucket list. And this is kind of one of those deals where we deal with a lot of new students on a regular basis. A lot of the students are coming from states where gun ownership wasn't as easy as it could be. So this list is not set in any kind of high to low. It's just a list of things I came up with and why I kind of talk to students when they come to find out why they're here, or why they're getting a gun, or why they're taking training classes. Obviously, we in Florida are considered the gun-shine state, so we're very gun-friendly when it comes to that stuff. So a lot of people who are moving from other states, really the reason why they're getting their gun or their carry permit or any firearms training or any stuff like that is because they can. That's it, because they can, One of those deals where, when you have somebody telling you can't have something or you can't protect yourself, but the people who are claiming you can't protect yourself are protected by all kinds of firearms themselves. They just don't want you to protect yourself. And that's kind of one of those weird. So the very first one I'd give you is because you can. Welcome to Florida. This is the gun-shine state. There's a lot of states like Florida that are very gun-friendly. And if you get to one of those states you've never had a firearm or never did any shooting, it's probably going to be one of your top priorities you want to do. Number two, why most people are getting a firearm is for self-defense purposes. They realize that it's going to take a cop time to get here. The firearm is for now. The cop is for later. When you call 911, they don't show up immediately. It takes them some time. We are in Lee County, Florida, and Lee County is a large area, and we have a great response time. Our sheriff works very hard at that, but even at that, the average is 14 minutes. And 14 minutes waiting for a cop to show up to save your life, I don't think that's a great idea. That's not great average, right? Having one in your home to protect yourself is probably the key thing. And matter of fact, most of the sheriffs in the United States tell you to get a firearm to protect yourself, because my guys can't be everywhere at all times. So number two would be self-defense. Number three is changing of the gun laws, right? Well, they're afraid that something's going to happen. A mandate may come down, and all of a sudden you can't have this, you can't have that, or you can't have this. And this becomes a challenge for us. So most people are doing it because someone tells them, or someone's going to tell them down the road they can't have it, so they want to get it now. I'm not sure if Florida's going to have that much problems with that stuff, but there are states right now they're challenging every semi-automatic. They talk about the AR-15 being an assault rifle ban, but they're talking about anything that's high capacity and it shoots multiple rounds, because they're not talking full auto. They're talking about the standard semi-automatic shotgun, or they're just talking about an AR-15. The AR-15 they call, AR stands for assault rifle. It doesn't. It stands for armor light, and those people want to take that and any other fast-acting weapon that shoots multiple rounds. We're not talking full auto. It's semi-automatic. There's one trigger pull, one bullet. But there are every day they're talking about trying to stop this or stop that or stop that. So a lot of people physically are fear they're going to take your rights away to own a gun. That's why they're doing it. Number four is it's your responsibility. It's truly your responsibility to defend yourself. It's not a cop's job. It's not your neighbor's job. It's your job to defend yourself and your loved ones. And having the ability to do that is important. Number five is political climate. You see what's happening in the world today. Is it getting better? I'll leave it at that. Would a firearm help you in a situation, or will it hurt you in a situation? Well, obviously, if you don't know what you're doing with it, definitely you could hurt yourself with it. But if you took your proper training and proper everything else, you'll be okay. I would recommend always taking a firearms training class before you do anything, but the political climate is making us do this. And this is what taking a lot of these people who are new. I mentioned earlier that we always deal with students, but today we had a 72-year-old woman. Her husband died 2 years ago. He wanted her to take training classes. She wasn't ready then. She was ready today. And guess what? She bought a gun and she's going to start shooting. And she didn't think she could. And we walked her all the way through it and got it done. Don't you think that woman needs an equalizer? Needs something to protect herself? She can't wait for the cops to show up. If you're going to talk about victims list, a senior woman is top of the victims list. Right? Because the lions on the Serengeti Plain don't look for the first bull. They look for all the young kids and the older people. So having that ability to protect yourself with a firearm that you own in your home without waiting for a cop to show up to protect you is probably the. Number 6 is the media. The media really, it's really putting the emphasis on what's happening in the world today. The climate is not the same. People are not the same. Back in the day, having a firearm, getting in any kind of argument, road rage incident, no firearms were involved in that stuff. Now everyone has a firearm, so unfortunately it's part of that deal, and the media is not portraying that you're okay. We're not in Mayville anymore. The world is changing and we need to change with it, so that's important. Number 7 is Second Amendment rights. It's your right to own a firearm if you need to, if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's what the Second Amendment's all about, allowing you to protect yourself. Number 8 would be culture. Some people, like in Florida, we are a culture of firearms. Firearms should be in the home. Firearms should be used. Everyone in the home should know how to use it. It's not something that's looked at as a bad thing. So I know there are other states in the United States, there are people who hate guns and don't think you or anybody else should have one. But there are people like that are the first people who want a firearm if they needed one, right? If we put you in a room in a box at a door and said the next person who comes to that door is going to rape, murder, and kill you, you surely would not pick up the gun, not pick up the firearm. You surely would protect yourself any way you could. Now the problem with that is you don't know what you're doing with that firearm. And unfortunately the bad guy does. So, that's one of those deals. Number 9 is your equalizer. Your equalizer itself, it is something you need to have. It's hard to take a baseball bat to a gunfight. It's hard to take a tennis racket to a gunfight. You need to have something that's going to equal what the other bad guy might have. He's got a knife, you must have a gun. And that's kind of the equalizer thing, because as we get older, we may not have the gas and strength and power that we had many years ago. I can tell you that myself, being a 55-year-old man. What I used to do 2 weeks ago or a month ago or 2 months ago or a year ago, I surely can't do the same. So I'd highly recommend you get that equalizer, because it is your responsibility to defend yourself. Spend enough time using that weapon and getting comfortable with it. It's going to make a big difference on how you feel when you're at home. All right. And number 10, it's mostly a bucket list thing, man. How many people I have come in here that's been on their bucket list for years, and they finally pull the trigger, excuse the pun, and decide to get a firearm and begin to become more proficient with it. Shooting a pistol, there's a lot to it. I've done many videos on the health factors, the support you have, the ability to do it, the confidence is where you'll build yourself, and the ability to have the weapon when you need it and build confidence with it. Remember, when you got your driver's license, they didn't let you walk in and drive the car for the first time. They gave you that 1-year restrictor's license before they let you drive by yourself. They don't have that much firearms, guys. You need to get confident enough to do it. So this list is not a set in stone list. It's the list I come up with because of what we do with students all the time. Do me a favor, comment below right here and tell me why you have firearms or why you don't have a firearm. You can do that too. I don't mind sending a comment back to you if you're a gun hater and you're watching this anyways. That's fine. Tell me why you're a gun hater, why you think the firearm is dangerous in the home. What's more dangerous in the home is not be educated about it. And this is what I always tell everybody. If you have a firearm in your home, everybody in the home that you feel is responsible enough should know how to load it and unload it. You're taking a gun inside the home and you're hiding it or putting it away because you're afraid they won't be able to understand it. That's the first person that won't understand it and get themselves in trouble. The gun should be put away from a child until they're comfortable enough that they know how to use it. But once they know how to use it, you need to make sure they understand all the rules, all the regulations, and how to be safe with a firearm. Hope this list helps you. Tell me where you are on this list, Until next time, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line defense. I love you guys.